Hi all, my name is Paolo Rizzo. I'm from Switzerland. I'm Italian, living in Switzerland, and we are here to present our project. Two things, not to bother you about who we are, but we are located. Our company is DB&L Services. We are located in Lugano, in the little Ticino, Italian-speaking region in Switzerland, and we are software engineer and system engineer, specialized on project management, architecture, and in networking. We have more or less 20 years experience about in our team on specific and vertical items, and we met Luca and ntop on one of our principal client in Switzerland, where we implemented ntop with another software, Zabbix, and we decided, looking at the needs of our client, to find a particular approach to understand and discover more information for the technicians. You know, probably, when you are on operating team, and you have probably you should have many incident alerts and so on, and in our activity it's important to find the solution immediately. So the idea was to combine ntop and Zabbix to find and solve this issue. And as I'm not a technician, I'm here with Lorenzo Stili, is one of our network engineer, and he will explain you our solution and what we did. Thanks.
Good morning, everybody. As Paolo said, I'm Lorenzo Stili. I'm a network and security engineer at DB&L Services, and working my colleagues to one of our biggest clients. We faced this, let's say, problem, where you have two powerful tools, and you have a very big network, very big environment with several locations, perhaps, and thus meaning that you have lots of others because you have dozens and dozens of servers of network devices and so on, and you receive lots of others. So, in my position, working in the service team and having to face those issues and those others, what we noticed is that drilling down to the real problems is very time consuming when you have to run to a lot of emails and others. So, how and what if we can actually simplify the process? Our primary focus is then on the network domain, but we also go a little further. We recognize this challenge that all of us in the business are constantly facing every day, which is effectively response to those others with the correct analysis, troubleshooting, and gathering the correct information. So, with these challenges in mind, we have developed a specific software, which is our software, our tool that merge the strengths of both Zabbix and ntop. Mostly the whole ntop suite. I will show you later in the presentation. And upon an occurrence, so upon a network fault that might happen, we are going to integrate Zabbix data, Zabbix information with the ntop analysis. What we get as a result? We get faster and more accurate analysis and more effective resolution of bias and errors, because in just one single point, which can be an email or a message or whatever you would like, you will have all the information needed for a troubleshooting to drill down that problem. So our mission, as we say here, is to make life easier for the whole IT professional teams around the world. As I said, we have two key players in mind and that we use on our solution. First one is Zabbix. Zabbix, I think many of you know, it's an enterprise-class open-source monitoring system. It has lots of add-ons. It's very flexible. It can give you lots of insights with all the items that gets data from network devices, but not only. It can monitor server as well with CPU usage, physical memory usage, interfaces utilization, whatsoever. And of course, we use the ntop suite in our solution. How we use it with both npro and ntopNG. In our case, we export from the network devices the net flow data towards npro, and npro we gave this information to ntopNG via ZMQ. With all this information in mind, what we wanted to do was to manage and address the challenges of the modern network environment, especially very large development, very large infrastructure. So we developed a framework that harnesses the strengths of both these tools, Zabbix and ntop. This integration will allow us, as I said, to have a faster response. We had some feature in mind when we talked about this project. Efficiency, because we need quick response. We don't want redundant information. We don't want more of the same. Extensibility. We have two tools at the moment, Zabbix and ntop. But it can be integrated with more than that. ntop will remain, but we want to work with other network monitoring tools and such. Maintainability, it has to be easy to maintain after updates with less work possible from the customer. We saw lots of time to, in our customers' environment, they had very powerful tools, not maintained because nobody had the time, because it was complex. Perhaps, sometimes you have to jump to several versions and nobody has time to spend there. The heart of our solution is the integration between those two tools, Zabbix and ntop suite. This synergy will give us lots of information, timely monitoring, quick response to network issues, but not only that, because we were thinking, okay, yeah, we have various information from Zabbix. It will say us, our use case, for example, is based on the bandwidth overutilization. So okay, it says this interface is using too much of its bandwidth at this time, and that's it. ntop, very nice. We can see which flows are actually going back and forth in our environment. But what are these hosts involved in that specific problem? How can we get it? So we decided to add a CMDB to our solution to enhance this process and gives to the final user also additional information about the single hosts that are involved, but also the impacts that you are having on which services at that time. You will see later during the presentation what I mean. So here, the integration points, monitoring and analysis. Zabbix is very useful to detect network issues, and ntop to have deep down information. So very good by themselves. How can we make it work together? Correlation between the two elements and the CMDB that helps us in offering a holistic view of the problem, and automation and response. This has to be fully automatized because more time you spend in traffic in a problem analysis, in a troubleshooting, the more time you are wasting for the resolution. Here you have the diagram, the application diagram of our solution. For those who are not very familiar with Zabbix and its keywords terminology, these are few keywords. We have host items. Host items are the let's say the objects that the objects where the data is stored in Zabbix when it polls and monitors a device on the network. You have a trigger. The trigger is a function that evaluates those data and the items and reacts somehow. We have Zabbix sender. Zabbix sender is an additional tool. It's a CLI script for even from Zabbix, but it's separated from the server. It allows us to run custom scripts external to the Zabbix server. Last but not least, alert. Alert is the same keyword that you will see everywhere, also in ntopNG. And in our case, it can be a very huge option, number of options to choose from. In our case, we are going to use email. That is the more common tool that we see. So, how does it work? We have the Zabbix server, which is a monitoring tool that monitors the network. The network as well is sending information to ntop via NetFlow. NetFlow then messages the data, the information, and it's sent to ntopNG. So we have the flows here, we have the triggers, we have the status of the network here, and what happens in the moment that you have an issue. Our use case is bandwidth utilization, so the item that will get the information is saturated link. It calls it like that. So this item will have the data inside, and the trigger related to that item will be activated. What does this trigger? This trigger calls our framework. Here, our framework that is running on the same machine of Zabbix will get some information. It's going to use ntopNG for the flows, MongoDB, which is our CMDB, with information, as well as some information from Zabbix itself. For example, as I said, in very complex infrastructure, you might have several locations. You might have site A, site B, site C. You can have a production data center. You can have a DRC data center. So somehow we need to know where the host that triggered the alert is sitting. This is because in ntopNG you can have different view based on location or whatever, and the network device is sending data to a specific ntop bus. That ntop bus is sending it to a specific interface in ntop. So if you don't get the correct interface here, you are not getting any data. Sorry, you are not getting any data. Once our framework has the correct information, it asks MongoDB for additional information such as VLANs, services, and other stuff to get the correct flows here. Is going to filter, is going to break down only the active flows that these are as triggered on that interface of that specific net device. Once our custom scripts have all this information, it will send back into an item, that gathers the data and trigger here like flows. This is the last trigger that will take all this information put it in a very beautiful email, and then trigger the alert. The alert will send the email to the end user. This is our laboratory environment where we tested the use case. This is small environment. We have one router with also SDI on top. We have a layer 2 switching. We then have 3 server, an nprop server, an ntopNG server, and the last server with Zabbix, CMDB, and our software here named the DB&L software. Last but not least, a workstation, which we will then launch an FTP transfer to trigger the bandwidth alert. Here we are in the use case. Here you will see how it works and the various steps. So in the first phase, Zabbix will find that there is an issue because the item that is monitoring the bandwidth usage of a specific interface has been triggered. This has been activated. What happens? Once this is triggered, it immediately calls for a remote command. If you remember, this is the trigger that in the diagram was on the center of the image, and it calls the remote command that is our framework. What happens at this point? Our framework is going to interface with is going to speak with the CMDB as well with ntop tools to see what are the data flow active. In this case, you will see this is the flow that we triggered with an FTP transmission. We lowered the bandwidth usage. We lowered it to 20% to trigger it, but usually in our production environment we have 70-80%. So this is our flow. You can see the flow exporter, which is the router, and the interfaces related to this flow. Phase 3, once our framework has done what it has to do, gather all the information, it sends back this information inside Zabbix, in the related host item in Zabbix. Here you will see not only the flows detected at the same time that the alert was triggered, so in the same moment that a bandwidth usage was notified, it immediately calls ntop to get which flows are active in that moment. So already here you have the key players that are doing too much traffic. But not only that, because with the CMDB, we also have the impacted services on the link. We are able to see which services are impacted in that specific moment. In our case, we have the main controller, FTP server, and the client network. More than that, we also have information about the single host that can be server or can be also a workstation if you have that. So here you have the IP with the host name, the role, and the service. This is very useful because in just one point you have lots of information, and I'll tell you why. Because then you can directly see the next implementation will be to add also the owner of those assets, so that you can actually pick up the phone or ask via email or via Teams to the owner. Look, we have this issue. It's okay. Is this flow actually authorized? Is something strange going on? I don't know. You tell me. Once Zabbix, our framework has sent information to Zabbix, it's then time to trigger the last part, which is to send an email to the end user. And here is the example of the email that the end user will receive. Subject, you already have the information from Zabbix. What is the problem? Which one? Bandwidth utilization more than 20%. Where? Host name, router 01, which interface, Ethernet 09, which flows were detected, impacted services involved host. So, in just one email, in a timely manner, you have all this information that for a network engineer or for a NOC agent, this is already very, very useful and very important because you don't have to waste time to search for this information, to jump between different tools. You have already everything here. So I think I will give back the.
So it is only in this case our idea is to have other implementation in our roadmap. There is to implement other use cases, and the idea is to explore other software capabilities and looking at other monitoring solution. As we said to Luca, we are ntop-based software monitoring activities, and so the idea is to remain on to ntop and study other software monitoring on the place. The idea is to have a machine learning activities because it will be really great. I'm a project manager, so the idea is to anticipate what we can have. Obviously, it is in the future, but I do my best to break the wall of my my colleague. Sorry for the bad word, but this is the real word. So I would like to anticipate some of this issue. So we would like to have an advanced automation, declarative and predictive analysis. So you didn't see our framework because it is inside the Zabbix and ntop solution, but the idea is to have our GUI. So we would like to have a single page application, to have much more information in one place, because at the moment we have ntop and Zabbix, but the idea is to have other software, other solution, and also we use the MongoDB because it is useful, it is easy, and but we are open to discuss with our client to understand their CMDB, and we can simplify the storage and so on. The last point is more or less related to the idea to have machine learning, but to have some predictive insight and actionable recommendation. Thanks a lot, and thanks Luca for the opportunity to show our project, and if you have any question, obviously Lorenzo can answer your